What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and over the past few days, we have been talking about the Shanquella Robinson case. Now, if you are unfamiliar with this case, go check out the previous videos I made on this topic, and be sure to share those videos as well, because we need as many eyes on this story as possible. This story, in this case, it's not getting as much attention as most of these other true crime cases, and I feel like this case was literally this close to being swept under the rug if it was not for social media, if it was not for Shanquella's family working hard behind the scenes to get this story out there, then this case would have been swept under the rug because Mexican authorities said that there was no evidence of foul play. Mexican authorities were not treating this as a homicide, despite the fact that Shanquella was found on the floor of her living room in the villa that she rented with a broken neck and a snapped spine, a busted lip, a knot on her forehead, bruising around the eyes. It was clear as day that this woman had gotten beaten. But Mexican authorities were ready to sweep it right under the rug because this happened at a popular resort. And these resorts, they do not want something like this, a situation like this, to tarnish their name. It's bad for business. No one wants to rent out the villa where someone got murdered in not too long ago. So, they're invested in sweeping this under the rug, but luckily, the story got out there. A video leaked of Shanquella getting attacked by one of her friends, and the story became bigger. And the FBI is now involved. Mexican authorities have reopened the investigation. They are now treating it as a femicide. So the situation's definitely getting crazy. But throughout all of this, there was a GoFundMe made for Shanquella. And the GoFundMe was at around $15,000. Now, if you've ever buried a loved one, then you know that it's expensive. Especially when you have to bury a loved one unexpectedly. Like often, grandparents and old folks may pass away and they already got their ducks in a row and they got things handled. But often, you're not ready financially or mentally or emotionally to bury your 25-year-old child. Not to mention the fact that they had to get her body shipped from Mexico all the way to North Carolina. So there's been a lot of costs. So there was a GoFundMe made in her name. And surprisingly enough, a huge donation came through. $65,000 donation. A $65,000 donation came through. And guess who was on the other end of that donation? Guess who donated $65,000 to Shanquella Robinson? No other than the NBA player Kyrie Irving, who has recently been basically canceled. Over the past few weeks, Kyrie Irving has been suspended from playing basketball, although I do believe he is coming back sometime soon. He has lost a shoe deal. He has been basically attacked by the mainstream media, much like Kanye West. Now, the Kanye West situation, I talked about it a little bit on this channel, but then I got, busy covering other cases, so I really haven't got a chance to dive into all of the stuff that was going on with Kanye West. But we know that Kanye West made some comments. People didn't like those comments. And Kanye West lost all types of deals, shoe endorsements, you name it. So Kanye was basically canceled. Now, Kyrie Irving, he shared a link to a documentary that you can literally watch on Amazon. The documentary is on Amazon. Now, Kyrie Irving shared the link to this documentary on his social media account. And then all hell broke loose. Now listen, I have not watched this documentary. I know that it's supposed to be something about, I guess, black people being the real Jews or something. I don't really want to dive into all of it because the documentary, it doesn't matter to me. It's irrelevant to me. But you see, when Kyrie Irving shared the link to this documentary, it was as if he did the worst thing you could possibly imagine, the way people reacted. Now, like I said, I haven't watched the documentary, and I probably wouldn't even agree with anything in the documentary. But I agree with Kyrie Irving's right to drop a link to whatever he wants to drop a link to. Even if I don't believe anything in that documentary, I believe that it's Kyrie's right as an American citizen to be able to share a link to that documentary. And if he wants to believe what is in that documentary, then that's up to him. It's not something that he should lose his livelihood over. He should not be getting canceled for sharing a link to a documentary that you could watch on Amazon. And I find it weird, but also funny. And not funny in like ha 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 type of way, but funny in like, oh, you're moving funny type of way. I find it funny that Jeff Bezos and Amazon, they have received zero pushback for having this documentary on their platform. The documentary's on there, you can go watch it. No one said anything to Jeff Bezos about that. So Jeff Bezos, he's not only is this documentary on his platform, he's making money every time people watch it. Kyrie Irving makes zero money from this documentary, shares the link on social media like, hey guys, watch this, and then all hell breaks loose. And I'm telling you right now, folks, we are going down a slippery slope. We're going to reach a point of no return in this country. And we're going to do it to ourselves. Now, when I say we're going to do it to ourselves, I'm not including myself in that. And I'm not including most of my viewers in that because I know most of the people watching this video, they don't get down like that. We're not with the cancel culture stuff. We're not with the squashing the freedom of speech, but it seems as if people have forgotten in this country that just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean that they don't have the right to say it. Like, listen, I get on YouTube and I make videos every day that thousands of people watch. I am well aware that some of you all watching this video right now probably don't like me. And you probably have ugly, mean things to say about me. And even though I probably disagree with all the negative things that you have to say about me, I agree with your right to say it. I agree with your right to say what you want about me. Now, of course, the freedom of speech doesn't mean that you have the freedom to make accusations about people that aren't true. So, you have to keep that in mind as well, because a lot of people, especially in the true crime community, they seem to have forgotten that, the freedom of speech is important, but that doesn't give you the right to accuse people and to make false allegations about people. But anyway, it seems as if a lot of people in this country have forgotten that the freedom of speech means that people have the freedom to say things that you don't like and that you don't agree with. Yet it seems as if half of this country, they are ready and willing to just throw the freedom of speech out the window as long as it's targeted towards the other half of the country. Let's just say that. One half of this country is ready and willing to throw the freedom of speech out the window just to silence the other half of the country. And it seems like the half of the country that is being silenced are all the ones who are actually making sense, while the people telling you that there's 38 genders and you can be a freaking salmon if you want to, they're the ones who are having their voices boosted. And their ways of thinking that are totally asinine and ass backwards, it's being accelerated into the mainstream. So the point that I'm trying to get at here is that Kyrie Irving, regardless if you agree with what was in the documentary, if you hate the documentary, it shouldn't matter. Kyrie Irving should not be villainized. He should not be... I can't think of any other way to put it other than to be socially crucified. Like they walked Kyrie Irving out here and made him answer questions and constantly badgered him about a freaking documentary, a link that he shared on his social media. But Kyrie Irving hasn't backed down. And if you know anything about Kyrie Irving, then you know that he's been at odds with the mainstream way of thinking for a while now. Kyrie Irving was also suspended not too long ago for not wanting to take the jab. So the mainstream media has been after Kyrie for a long time because unlike other NBA players like LeBron, Kyrie does not fall in line and just parrot mainstream media talking points. He has a mind of his own, and although I don't agree with everything he says, I do agree with his right to say it, and I respect that he will stand by what he believes in, or that he will at least challenge the mainstream. But they've been trying to cancel him. They've been dragging his name through the mud. And in this moment, to see that he didn't go on ESPN and make an announcement. He didn't get a camera crew behind him to record it for TikTok. He didn't take his phone out and make an Instagram post about it. He simply, quietly donated $65,000 to help out Shanquella's family. And that means, I know, a hell of a lot to them because it means a lot to me. And I think moments like this, we see Kyrie's true character. And I hate that we live in a world that assassinates, and I mean literally, character assassination and literal assassination. They assassinate the people who care and the people who seem like they may make a difference. The people who challenge the establishment. They're always either literally assassinated or their characters are assassinated. Meanwhile, we boost up all of this craziness. You know, Kyrie Irving is being villainized. The mainstream media is trying to make him appear as if he's the worst thing that has happened since Hitler because he shared a documentary. Meanwhile, these same people want you to believe that it's okay to take your kids to drag shows and watch grown men dressed as women sucking rainbow dicks in front of kids. Sorry to be blunt, but that's the reality of where we're going at in this country. And I hate to see what has been done to Kyrie, and I hate to see what's been done to Kanye. Because even though I don't agree with everything Kanye said, I agree with his right to say it. And when you see this type of reaction, then it makes you think that maybe what they're saying ain't too far-fetched after all. Because why are they going so hard after these people? But all in all, the $65,000 will go a long way to help this situation. I'm glad that there are people out there, celebrities, basketball players, who see things like this happening and they don't necessarily feel the need to get involved verbally. They're not all over social media, but behind the scenes, they're helping their community out. And I think a lot of people, I don't want to say, it's hard, I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. I don't want to say a lot of people owe Kyrie Irving an apology because of this, but a lot of people need to re-examine how they really feel about this person. And you need to really think, do you really feel negatively about Kyrie Irving because of anything he's done? Or do you feel negatively about Kyrie Irving because the mainstream media told you to? Because I guarantee you, if you really sit down and think about it, Kyrie Irving hasn't done anything to you. And Kyrie Irving hasn't done anything that really even makes you mad. You're just hating him because the mainstream media and CNN and MSNBC told you you should. But I want to hear how you all feel about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.